forces are escorting oil tankers through the Strait of Hormuz.
Well, we don't need any help. Actually, we issued a statement. I've been following this over the past few weeks, and all our NATO allies have been very supportive. They thought it was very important. We were discussing it. It's vital to eliminate the nuclear threat from Iran, and we did that firmly and powerfully. We completely destroyed their navy and armed forces. Their air force is now decimated. They have no air force or navy. They have no radar. Their radar was completely destroyed. Their air defense as well.
So far, Germany, Italy, and Japan have said they will not send ships to the region. Guys, back to you.
Very interesting. Thank you, Steve. Yes, just to continue, it's really impressive that Germany says they're not going to do anything. And the United Kingdom says they're not going to help. France says, I have some nearby. I'll try to help. Japan says no. And I think that, we'll be fine. It'll just take a few more weeks. Maybe there are more skirmishes happening. But in the big picture, this confirms what the president has been saying about our allies in times of crisis. They'll be there.
The president said, we only get 1% of our oil through Hormuz. But Japan, which won't send ships, gets 95%. China, 90%, 35%.
They fell into the trap because, as the president said at the press conference yesterday, it's almost a test. And he says, do we really need them, right? He says, but I want to see what they will say to us. They will be there. They prove the theory he has always defended.
Yeah, German.
Mr. President, what progress have you made in getting the United States allies to help escort those oil tankers through the Strait of Hormuz?
We don't need any help. In fact, we've already issued a statement. I've been following over the past few weeks, and all our NATO allies have been very supportive of what we've done. They thought it was very important. Actually, we were just discussing that a little while ago. It's very important that we eliminate the nuclear threat from Iran, and we've done that in a very firm, very powerful way. We eliminated their navy and armed forces in every aspect. Their air force was decimated. They have no air force or navy. It turns out they don't have radar. Their radar was wiped out. Their air defense was destroyed. Everything is gone. Leaders are gone. I think one of the most important people, according to many, ended up being killed yesterday, along with another person who was responsible for the assassination. The man responsible for the death of 32,000 people in the last 2 weeks, he was the one responsible for the killing of protesters. It's an evil group. I mean, they killed far more than 32,000 people, and the man who was responsible for that was also killed yesterday. And all the NATO allies agreed with us, but they don't want to, Despite the fact that we help them so much, we have thousands of soldiers in different countries around the world, and they don't want to help us, which is unbelievable. I mean, unbelievable. And I didn't put full pressure because I think that if I had, they probably would help. But we don't need help. This war has been going on for a long time, in my opinion. Basically, since the first day we eliminated much of it, we destroyed the Navy in just a few days. But it surprised me that NATO, even though they saw it as something crucial, fully agreed that no one should do it. They would have had a nuclear weapon within a month from when we sent the B-2 bombers to bomb their nuclear potential. I call it nuclear dust. So I think NATO is making a very foolish mistake, and I've always said that, I wonder if NATO would ever be there for us. So that was a big test because we didn't need them, but they should have been there. Another thing is, and I think, very important, we didn't need to be there for Ukraine, Biden chose to spend hundreds of billions of dollars on Ukraine. And I think the head of Germany just made a statement saying that, well, they weren't involved and it has nothing to do with the war. But at the same time, they think we did a great thing by defeating them. Nobody wants Iran or anyone else, but nobody wants Iran to have a nuclear weapon. Because these people are crazy, they're really crazy, they're cruel, violent, they kill. They say it's about 41,000 people. They issued a warning 2 days ago. Anyone who protests will be immediately shot and killed. This is something really serious, so everyone agrees with us, but they don't want to help. And we as the United States have to remember that because we find it really shocking.
President Trump has just posted on Truth Social saying that we no longer need or want assistance from NATO countries. We never wanted it the same way from Japan, Australia, or South Korea. In fact, speaking as the President of the United States of America, by far the most powerful country in the world, we don't need anyone's help. J.O. from News Nation.